Okay, we're live. You want to introduce yourself, dude? And what we're doing today?
I'm a broken-hearted liberal, so trying to stay relatively anonymous. But and I'm at Broke HRT Liberal on Twitter, as well as some other places.
Alrighty. So you wanted to talk about the whole Google Memo firing?
Yep. And I guess we can get started. So, he put together basically it wasn't like a sort of not like essentially trying to like slow the the hate he was getting in the beginning. So he kind of put like a disclaimer sort of in the beginning. And
yeah,
he describes himself as like a classical liberal, but he has like some pretty like he has some liberal leaning views and stuff like that. He's by far not like sounds like.
no, it doesn't sound like he is. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more. I read a little bit of it before I came into this, and he definitely sounds a little bit more classical liberal than anything else.
And generally that means you're more. Sargon of Akkad describes himself as a classic liberal, so he's more liberal on social issues, a bit more conservative on like economic ones. So like him getting fired over like these social issues is not all like it's just why like
I don't know either because he's not wrong about the whole thing of diversity and everything, because I know that I kind of don't like the whole affirmative action, because it always makes you question on whether or not you're actually good at your job, or if they just hired you because you're brown or black or Asian or whatever.
And everyone else is questioning you as well. You as well because of this. So it just makes it bad. It's just bad.
I couldn't find the study, but there was one where they actually took a poll of people and were saying, would you feel safer with a doctor who's a minority or a doctor who's white because of affirmative action? And that's just fucked up, because everybody's questioning your ability. They could be just perfectly fine. They're great doctors. They're just as good as the white doctors, but they're constantly going to be questioned as to their ability, and that sucks.
Yeah, that also. That's also everyone's mental state is just it's not good. It's not good for the doctor. It's not good for the patient. It's just it doesn't sound good at all.
No, because I'm a minority, so.
Yeah, and the argument also is I am technically as well. So actually doubly so, but I'm Asian with a little bit of Pacific Islander in it.
Okay.
Tiny percentage. So, it's not like, but, so, all right, so he says, I value diversity and inclusion. I'm not denying that sexism exists, and I don't endorse using stereotypes. So, again, social issues, he sounds fine. And he wants to address the gap. Let's see, he wants to have an honest discussion. And psychological safety built on mutual respect and acceptance. It's just
it's very reasonable. They're all very reasonable requests, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. And then the most ironic thing that came up was Google has this how we hire thing, and it says there's no one kind of Googler. So we're always looking for people who can bring new perspectives and life experiences to our teams. If you're looking for a place that values your curiosity, passion, desire to learn, if you're seeking colleagues who are big thinkers, eager to take on fresh challenges as a team, you're a future Googler.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, dude. I know, right? Yeah, broken. Yeah, people are noticing you're coming in really crackly. Try dropping out and dropping back in with the link that I sent you.
Okay, cool.
Also, thank you, Viper. How you doing, Viper? All right, let's try again.
Okay.
Oh my god, that's so much better. Oh, also, your camera was on for a sec. Nice.
Yeah, I cover up with piece of paper just because NSA and all of those other stuff. I've heard some. Basically, it was a story I heard where it was like Costco or Target or some company basically leased a laptop to somebody, and they paid their last payment, but it wasn't logged. So the company took a picture of him using his laptop in his home, walked up to his door and said, "Oh, here's proof that you still have it. We want our payment."
Oh, well, that's mildly terrifying. I'm gonna go find some tape to put over my camera because I think the NSA has gotten like quite a bit of look at my boobs.
Possibly. I mean, depends on, I mean, that's also why you don't don't let people go on your computer, because I've heard some instances of where like people have put
spyware
a program on it, and
yeah.
it
I have a
started
Mac,
taking
so that's
stuff
like
that.
almost the only. I have a Mac, so that's like almost the only way you can get spyware on a Mac, unless I download something.
Well, I mean, Macs are becoming a little bit more popular because of the whole Apple thing. So like there are some viruses that are and stuff like that are starting to get there, but
yeah, they're starting up for a while. If for a while it wasn't really a thing. Anyway, back to Google. No more Apple. Back to Google.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. So like again, he sounds really reasonable. And then so we can get to like his page 2, the background. He wants good intention. He has people have good intentions, but we need an open dialogue. Google has biases. Honest discussion is being silenced, which quite literally got silenced when he got fired.
Yeah, that's one hell of a silencing.
I
heard Gab is hiring him.
Luckily,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they offered to hire him. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he's probably I think he's gotten some other ones too. So it sounds like he's okay, at least in that thing. Unfortunately, it will confirm all of the biases of everyone who is on Google's side, but if he does take a job there, but.
As if the biases needed to be confirmed.
I mean, true. I mean, just, yeah.
For those who had doubts, there you go.
Pretty much.
Sorry.
I mean, there's just like this massive disinformation thing going on right now, just because all the liberal media is going off on it. The conservative ones are firing back as best they can. The Poll News Network posted some stuff. Like, I think I'm not sure if it's still running. I think it still is, but it's less so because it got some criticism. But there was a Google Ideas group that had Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn and a bunch of other similar looking people, with dyed hair and all that stuff like that, who probably are feminists, essentially on like the anti-bullying, oppression, whatever team of Google. And the Poll News Network posted it, and it's just like, all right, well, the takeover is almost complete then.
Yeah. It's kind of like the whole diversity is power, don't question us is starting to spread even beyond just Google, because apparently like Zinnia Jones got an interview with fucking Playboy.
Oh, the I think I know her. She's the one who thought gays being tossed off buildings was what was they're saved from suicide or something?
No, I think that's Linda Sarsour, but Zinnia Jones basically believes that if you refuse to date trans people, you're an absolute bigot.
No, Zinnia Jones is the one.
Oh, did she? I'm not surprised.
She's the one. Yes, she thought there was pictures of gays being tossed off buildings by ISIS essentially, and she's like, oh no, they're preventing them from suicide.
Yep, that was her. Oh yes, that was her. That retardation. Oh my god!
And she was trolling, but like there was no indication in her thing at all that she was being There's just no indication whatsoever.
Oh my gosh. No, she's not a troll at all. She really believes what she's saying.
We're getting sidetracked again. I'm bad about this. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's kind of interesting a little bit, but
it is. Nobody will be reading Playboy for the articles anymore.
Well, I mean, what was it? They tried to go like legit by not doing nudes, and then immediately like stopped a month later, I think.
Because they sold like nothing. So,
I mean, yeah.
Some guys are like, well, maybe I want to read the articles and look at beautiful naked women. Ever think of that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, this is your target audience. You're stopping. It's like, I mean, how long have they been around? They've been around for decades.
Oh my god, yeah, they've been around for so long.
Anyways, all right. So listen. He also goes into like left and right biases. So he's acknowledged, like, even if you consider him a right winger, he's acknowledging that the right has biases. So it's not like he's being relatively objective by this. And his resume is like, you look at his resume. Here I can post a link to you. Give me a sec. Let's see.
Do you know how to screen? No, yeah, just post the link and I'll screen share it.
Okay. I'll just post it in chat.
There we go. Boop.
Like, his resume is incredible. It's just like MIT, Harvard, Princeton University, like all research related things in biology / computers. Oh well, shoot, it's got his address on it, but I mean, I guess it's out there. But
I mean, you found it out there, so
it was on I think it was on a Medium or a heavy.com article or something like that. So it's in widespread circulation.
Okay. I'm like, I was about to see, where did you get this, and did I just dox someone? Damn it, liberal.
No. It was I believe it was heavy.com. Let's see.
Oh my god, Massachusetts University of Technology. Wow, this is actually really impressive. Harvard.
University of Illinois. I think he had a master's. He has a 3.93, top 3% of his class. Like GPA.
Yeah, Urbana-Champaign is actually no joke to get into either. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Urbana-Champaign. I live in Illinois, so they're pretty prestigious when it comes to stuff like biology, architecture, things like that. Mm-hmm. So wow, lots of biology here.
Yeah, and I mean, and he's talking about biology, so like he's talking within the field essentially. So
that proves that he's not talking out of his ass.
I mean, like, I'm sure he could be wrong on some things, but like he at least, I mean, but he's also like posting sources throughout the entire thing. There's like at least 10 something.
He also like the whole reason that he posted that was because he actually wants to have a conversation. He admitted that he could be wrong about some stuff, but let's talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, he's by all means not being dictatorial about all this. So, I mean, okay, so for left and right, left, he's basically saying, has compassion for the weak, disparages are due to injustice, humans are cooperative, they're open, and they're idealist, which, you know, that's relatively true. I mean, I don't see any problems with that.
No, that's a good summation.
And then for the right wing, he says, respect strength, disparities are natural and just. Humans are competitive, closed, and the right is more closed and more pragmatic.
And that's a good summation.
I mean, more or less. I mean, granted, like I wouldn't. I guess more closed. I mean, this is all generalizations and stuff like that.
Right. It's like a basic summation, a loose summation of both sides.
Right.
Because
and the other thing is,
it definitely doesn't fit everybody, every liberal or every conservative, for sure.
No. And again, he's making the case. This is like all centrist kind of stuff because he says Neither side is 100% correct. Both sides are necessary for society and for the company. Like, again, being very centrist, essentially. Let's see, in this case, a company too far to the right may be slow to react, too hierarchical, and too untrusting. And then if it's too far left, we constantly changing, over diversity of interests, and overtly trust its employees and competitors. So he's asking for a balance. He's not saying, you know, we should kick out all the liberals or all the progressives. He wants a balance of essentially opinions.
Yeah,
only fact. Go ahead.
It's good to have a balance of opinion, just basically because if you go too far to the right, you're going to have a problem. If you go too far to the left, you're going to have a problem. So I think the best way to run any system is to kind of have an open dialogue with people on both sides of the aisle, and just like be able to correct for problems that start to show.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, we're seeing that today because in the last couple of, like, decade or two, I want to say, there have been polls that are showing essentially, used to be like there was sort of like a middle, like there was a lot more, you know, liberals and conservatives were sort of in the middle, and there was like the fringe was the smaller bit, but slowly that middle part has been shrinking, and there's a more of a more people on the edges essentially, and so that's part of the reason why we're having all these arguments and stuff like that, is because people are just drifting further apart.
Yeah.
There's also people are segregating into certain states. Like certain states are much more liberal, certain states are much more conservative.
Hell, there's like, and then there's some states that are just like split right down the middle. I mean, like Illinois. I think the rest of Southern Illinois would be more than happy if like Cook County just fucking left. They just want Chicago out.
51st state.
Yeah, and some folks in Chicago, like me, I'm just like, you know what? Honestly, it might probably be for the best. Maybe we could get rid of some of the garbage politicians that we have in Chicago.
I don't know, maybe
garbage. You know that Chicago under the leadership of Rahm Emanuel is trying to sue the rest of the country, right? They're basically trying to sue the U.S. government. Oh God, yep.
I mean, the thing about like the sanctuary city thing is like there are a couple of like actually valid concerns for the city, but on the up and up, like I'm generally against like this mass immigration that we're going on right now, and so like there are some concerns, but at the same time, like we need to like essentially enforce the law. So
I'm the child of immigrants on all four sides. I say four sides because I'm adopted. Like on all four sides, I'm the child of freaking either first generation immigrants or second generation. Like my mom came from Germany as a child. My dad was the child of immigrants. My birth mother is the child of immigrants. So I'm for immigration to the country, but it's important that we don't just like fling open the doors with no fucking vetting whatsoever.
Right.
That's just fucking insane.
I mean, yeah, and we're seeing, what was it? So Germany let in, I believe it was 2 million immigrants or refugees. Huh?
With like little to no vetting.
Yes. The equivalent to the United States would be 8 million people in the space of like 2 years.
Oh my God.
8 million.
So many people. And also, like, here's the thing with, if you have people that are coming from a war zone, that country is in flux. There's no real reliable way to vet that person and prove that they are who they say that they are, because, you know, how do you get hold of documents in a fucking war zone? Like,
I mean, yeah, that is the question. I don't really have an answer for that one, but
that's just a pragmatic way of looking at it, and I from that point of view, I kind of get where the conservatives are coming from, and I kind of agree with them on that. It's difficult, but you have to prove who you are before we let you in.
right.
I'm fine with you coming in. I don't give a shit. You can come in. That's fine. Just prove you are who you say you are. Prove you don't. You're not going to hurt anyone.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's just because I mean, I think it was sweet. There was a thing about like Sweden, and I think they were saying like 50-60% of the children coming in were like over 18.
Yeah, children,
So,
children
yeah.
vote because they can't actually vet the documents.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
All right.
Sorry.
So back to the article. Back to the manifesto. Is it actually a manifesto? I guess.
Memo?
I guess it is.
It was a memo.
Hmm?
It was a memo.
Manifesto, and it's just like.
Yeah, because they want to attach. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, they wanted to like attach this negative connotation to it, but really it was just a memo.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. So essentially, he's talking about possible non-biased causes of the gender gap in tech, and so he's basically saying men or women are biologically different. Surprise! In case anybody didn't know.
Yes.
And these differences aren't just socially constructed because they're universal across human cultures. Biological causes. Biological males that were castrated at birth and raised as females still identify as males. So
what were their names? The Reimer twins?
Yes, Reimer.
The
David
Reimer
twins. David Reimer and Brian, I believe.
Yeah, David and Brian Reimer. Yeah, that case was really kind of fucked up and sad too.
I mean, the thing was, so in case anybody doesn't know, David Reimer and Brian Reimer. So David, they're identical twins. David was maimed during a botched circumcision to fix a urinary difficulty that he was going to have when he was older, and so they just destroyed his penis. Basically, it's just the sad part is his twins like problem disappeared later in life, like. Because they decided, obviously, maybe we shouldn't mess up the other one, so they just let it go on, and it just disappeared.
He grew out of it,
yeah. So then they made the decision to turn David into a girl. Gave him hormones.
I would say him because David didn't actually have any gender dysphoria. He was actually a boy.
True.
Yeah.
And so the thing I was reading about was like they were hailing it as a success, and like it almost sounds like it's the start of like the whole social construct thing where
some social success. He killed himself.
Yeah, I mean the thing on that though is I'm not 100% convinced it was because of that, because his brother actually committed suicide 2 years earlier.
Yeah, that's because that during the whole psychological portion of it, they had them do some pretty questionable shit to each other.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like mimicking sex on each other and various other.
And money do that.
Yeah, money basically used them. It's fucked up. He basically used them as guinea pigs to prove his agenda that you can actually that. It was nurture over nature. That's what he was trying to prove. And it was really, David, they both ended up committing suicide. So
that's fair. I forgot about that part. Yeah, that's because here, why don't I read it out? Let's see.
I got Clashing Ideals in the chat who would like to hop in. Is that okay? Cool.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Cool. Let me go send this to him. I don't like putting it in the main chat because you never know.
Right. Here, in the meantime, I'll read out on the Wikipedia page. Not that, but it says, Reimer said that money forced the twins to rehearse sexual acts involving thrusting motions, with David playing the bottom role. Reimer said that as a child, he had to get down on all fours with his brother, Brian Reimer, up behind his butt. with his crotch against his buttocks. He said money to force David in other sexual position, have his legs spread with Brian on top, force the children to take their clothes off and engage in genital inspections. Okay. Yep. At least these activities, Money's rationale were for these various treatments was his belief that child sexual rehearsal play was important for a healthy adult gender identity.
Yeah, it's not. I know. Do you feel like I need another shower now? Like whenever I read about Dr. Money, I just get so kind of sick to my stomach.
Sounds like he was trying to get money by writing a book or something.
Oh yeah, he definitely wanted to write a whole book and become famous, and yeah, he basically wanted to turn a little boy into a little girl, and it didn't work because he's not a girl. You can't do that. I mean, whenever I see this thing with transgender kids, I think back to Dr. Money, and I get the heebies.
Yeah.
Granted, it's not that extreme, but yeah.
I mean, the thing is, you wouldn't do this with siblings. Like, you don't want siblings like playing out sexual acts and stuff like that, or rehearsing. Just no. That's just. It's like this is degeneracy. Like when.
It was almost like pedophilia for the sake of science. Some experiments shouldn't be done. This was an experiment that shouldn't have been done.
Yeah, this is crossing a lot of
moral lines, all the moral lines.
Ethical.
Yeah, like Dr. Money basically found the moral line and just ethical line and just started sprinting, just sprinted away from it.
Yeah, you know the separate. This reminds me of the Mingle. He worked with twins and he would do all kinds of weird crap with them.
Yeah. It's a lot like Dr. Mengele. Yeah, he was obsessed with twins.
All right. Anyway,
on that creepy note.
All right. So what else is it? Who's coming in? Do you?
Clashing Ideals.
Okay,
he should be here. I don't know if he actually checked his DMs. Nobody's watching right now, so I don't.
Okay.
I'm just poking around a little. I don't get a whole lot of views, and it's only 6 o'clock, so I think some people aren't home from work.
Fair enough.
Squish.
All right. So.
I'm gonna pet my dog a little. Ugh.
Underlying traits are highly heritable. I did a video explaining a little bit on heritability because I have a little bit, somewhat of a science background. So like, being highly heritable isn't like 100%. Like, if you say something's like 50% heritable, it's not like necessarily going to be like 50% is caused by, by genes. It's a little more complicated than that. So that point is a little, but you know, I'm sure
can't some traits also be environmental?
The environmental causes, yes. The heritable part is basically saying the part controlled by genes, and the other part is environmentally controlled. That doesn't necessarily mean so like the example I gave in my video is basically you could have like 100% heritable brown hair, basically. So like you're guaranteed to have brown hair, but you're essentially, if you live in some place where there's bleach, you know, if you're always exposed to bleach, then your hair can be blonde. So that's an instance where
it's environmental.
It's 100% heritable, yeah, but the result, the end phenotype is because of the environment. And there's other examples you can come up with, but that's just sort of an extreme example, basically.
And then there's always like, sometimes there's a gene that's just like really, 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 it's really down in there. I forgot the word for it, but they'll just randomly pop up at times. And mutations.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there are mutations. There's all kinds of weird stuff that can happen. But another example with the hair is like baldness. You could be brown haired but have no hair. And that's sort of like the sort of like the cascade effect of you know, various things being produced and various proteins and stuff going down the line. Anyways, all right. And he, I mean, again, he's being very anti, we shouldn't like base things on stereotypes, because he's saying these two, he shows a graph where two populations have significant overlap, but reducing a single person to, reducing people to their group identity and assuming the average is representative ignores this overlap. This is bad, and I don't endorse that.
Mm-hmm.
So
sure. I would agree with that too.
Yeah, I mean, literally, again, don't apply stereotypes to individuals, because it's just wrong. Like, it just, you're never going to be sure that that is, you know, that's actually what the person is.
Even when it comes to biology, you shouldn't just assume somebody like can't do something because of a certain trait that they have. I have a female friend that's 6'7" that could probably pick up and easily carry both of us. Yeah,
no, I mean, definitely there are some women that would kick my ass for sure.
I know,
yeah. I mean, it's just like it's just, you know, the strong. I'm sure there's, you know, there's women bodilifters who are like a lot of muscle, and I'm sure.
Right. I mean, she gets to that point with a very, very little work. Like, oh God, excuse the motorcycle. But she gets to that point with very little work. But she's also aware that she's a physical outlier. She's not the norm at all. She's that's extremely unusual for a woman to be that big and that strong.
I mean, not to mention that, but there's also, I mean, I don't know how scientific it is, but there's like the 3 body types, right? Mm-hmm. It's like ectomorph, endomorph, and I forget the third one, but
I guess it's not really scientific. It's just kind of a way to explain different body types and how people react to like food. Because I could sit here and polish off a whole pizza and like nothing will happen. I won't gain any weight. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of, yeah, there's just, yeah, again,
Mesomorph.
I don't know.
Mesomorph is the last one that was bothering me too.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I assume there is some kind of basis for it, considering it's been, you know, it's been going on for so long that, you know, people have, you know, differences essentially. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, again, with the genetics. If your dad is an endomorph, you're probably going to be an endomorph too.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you know, we obviously need equality there, right? Like we got to parse out and make sure there's a third, right?
Mm-hmm.
Genetics
are fun and confusing. Yeah. Confusing as fuck.
Or just like, what was the other thing? It's like taller men and women generally will get higher paid. Like there's that difference too.
I have never heard that. That's interesting. I'll have to look it up.
This is from Sargon. Sargon. I'm a little bit of a Sargon fanboy, so there's that. But I'm admitting that. But he does go through. There was like, he was doing a video on some Polish PM who he is like riding the razor's edge, so to speak, on acceptability, if not going over it. Because he like stood up in the EU Parliament and was just taking a giant crap on all of them.
Wow.
Every single one of them, just unabashedly. I don't support all his views, because like some of them he goes a little bit far, and he's kind of he's a radical capitalist or something like that. He's probably, I guess he'd be like a libertarian, like a right libertarian.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't exactly agree with especially the economics and stuff like that. So
I generally, I wish I was better with economics, because like whenever people are talking about it, I'm just like, I feel like I have no reason to be talking about this.
I mean, I have I think I've taken an economic class or two, but I'm not an expert by any means.
Taking exactly one.
All right. So going back to the thing, he's talking about personality differences. So he's saying women on average have more openness towards feelings, aesthetics rather than ideas, strong interest in people rather than things, So he's talking about empathizing versus systemizing. So, I mean, I guess this explains why a lot of women go into gender studies, because there's a lot of interaction and stuff like that. So,
and it's like it's basically soft science. Like women tend to, when they do go into science, they tend to lean into either biology or soft sciences.
Yeah, like sociology, psychology, stuff like that. Yeah. Let's see. These two differences in part explain why women relatively prefer jobs in social or artistic areas, while men may like coding because it requires more systemizing, even within what is S? I didn't look it up. SWEs.
Which kind of confuses. I actually kind of don't agree with him on that. I think that women would do great in coding simply because our brains are more inclined to notice details than men's are. And I think the reason that women don't go into coding is because they're being pushed into like engineering fields and shit like that, or they get caught in the gender studies trap.
I mean, it's possible. He
I mean,
released a Wikipedia article, so there's also some criticism.
Yeah, even historically, like women were the programmers because it was considered secretarial work when computers were still a new thing. So
interesting.
yeah.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, that when computers were still like the punch card computer that took up the entire freaking room, it was the women that did all. It was the ladies that did all of the coding and such because that was considered a secretary's job.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't know that, and I mean, again, like he I think he does. You know, he wants to open a conversation. So if he's wrong on it, then he's wrong on it. That's entirely possible. I mean, in regards to backing up the detail-oriented thing, it's just like in one instance, we needed to paint like a part of the house because the association was getting onto us, and it's like I just remember like just holding like essentially 50 different shades of white, basically trying to figure out this thing. I'm just like it's just like what is the difference between all of these? I don't know.
Oh, another fun fact about a biological difference between men and women. Women can have an extra cone in their eye that actually lets them see extra colors, and men don't.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of cool.
That's interesting.
We can see differences in color easier than you guys can.
I mean, I think I remember. I might remember reading something about that, but I mean, it explains like it's blue. It's like,
and women are like, it's periwinkle.
Yeah, or which I need to look up as to exactly what color that is.
It kind of stems from hunter-gatherer societies because when the men were out hunting, the women would be out like gathering berries and such, and so you need to be able to tell the difference between this red berry that's totally fine to eat and this red berry that's going to kill everyone.
Fair enough. Interesting enough. On that note, I need to like re-back it up, but basically I remember reading something about people who are sensitive to spicy foods. They were more able to detect poisons than people with less, like essentially who weren't sensitive to spices, basically.
That makes sense because
like spicy foods.
There's people that can smell, I think, cyanide. Oh. Do you have the thing up? The page?
Which
I hear
one?
an echo.
No, I do not.
Okay, that's weird.
I'll close it. I'll refresh it. Hold on.
No problem. Okay, bye. Dead air. Oh,
Better?
There we go. Help. That sounds better. Awesome.
So there's all kinds of little, it's interesting little tidbits of like old biology, essentially, that is not necessarily useful anymore, but explains all kinds of weird little things. And okay, so back to the thing. Extroversion is expressed as gregariousness rather than assertiveness. Also, higher agreeableness. This leads to women generally having a harder time negotiating salary, asking for raises, speaking up, and leading. It
kind of ties into the whole thing when I said that women are less rash and forward.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of ties into that.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was the woman on Shark Tank, because I don't watch, but people I know who watch. The woman on Shark Tank was basically saying, sort of act like a man or think like a man, basically be more assertive and stuff like that.
Right.
In regards to like asking for raises and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You should.
Granted, good.
You should. Women should be more assertive when it comes to negotiating your wage and asking for raises. And generally, they're not, and so they don't get them. It's not that your boss like doesn't want to give you a raise. It's just that like if you don't push the issue, they're not gonna remember.
Right. Yeah. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, so to speak.
Yep.
I obviously like. Don't go too far, because there's that sort of stereotype of the like over assertive, I guess, right? So you need to strike a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to say it, but like just there's a balance. I mean, same with men. Like you can't be an asshole all the time, or else people will start undermining you, and you can get into all kinds of fights and.
Yeah.
Neuroticism, higher anxiety, lower stress tolerance. This may contribute to higher levels of anxiety. Women report on Google List, which I assume is some kind of aggregate of stats or something, and also the lower number of women in high stress jobs. The Wikipedia article to that, if I recall correctly, which backs that up somewhat. I think it says, let's see, where is it? I think it was like half. Where is it?
And I mean, that's the whole being an empath thing. Even like men who kind of identify as empaths tend to have more anxiety in social situations. And women are way more likely to be more empathic than men are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, again, like not too controversial. I mean, he's talking in generalizations, and he also.
The fact that he got fired is kind of fucking stupid. None of this is really that controversial. He's not even saying that this is the be all end all memo to end all memos. He's just saying let's have a talk about this. I think there's a problem with the company. I think this needs to be addressed, and I think that was a reasonable request on his part.
Yeah. So anyway, she goes on to higher status. Men's higher drive for status. This is kind of familiar with related to Jordan Peterson talks about this a little bit. He was talking about how men are judged by status, and that's why he was saying like basically women with like high status essentially are generally looking for a man with the same status, and it's generally harder because you're essentially cutting down the pool a lot. Because of that. I mean, he's talking generalizations, obviously, but.
No. Hi, Clashing.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hello.
There you go. I got you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little quiet, but I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it low?
Still a little low.
It's kind of low, yeah.
All the audio issues today.
Yeah.
I could go on with this for about like 45 more minutes, and then I really need to go get something to eat because I'm starving.
Fair enough.
Hyena need food.
Yeah, I got an hour left.
Huh?
I got an hour left in the area I am, so.
All right. Anyways, where were we?
We were talking about high status for men and what they're judged on and stuff like that. So basically saying status is the primary metric that men are judged on, pushing many men into higher paying, less satisfying jobs for status that they entail. Note the same forces that lead men to high paid, high stress jobs in tech and leadership cause men to take undesirable and dangerous jobs like coal mining, garbage collection, firefighting, and suffer 93% of work-related deaths. Which again, he links a thing to that.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous, like, the difference between work-related deaths of men and women are just totally fucking ridiculous.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure on. He doesn't exactly give the reasons for that, for the relationship between high stress jobs and going into undesirables. The only thing I can think of is like high pay, because generally if you're doing like coal mining, garbage collection, and stuff like that, you get like a high paying job, essentially.
Yeah, those jobs are not really designed for females.
I do know one woman that is actually like a garbage collector though, but she, like I said, that was the woman I mentioned earlier, and she's 6'7" and could probably pick both of us up. She's huge. But yeah, and it's also an undesirable job because nobody wants to be a trash man.
Yeah. And go ahead.
No, nobody would want to be like. Even with the latest Google document I've been in a video on, is like, it's not really controversial. It's like, yeah, females are like, and generally they're better at multitasking than males. Like, we tend to like focus on one thing. While males tend to be stronger, have more muscle density, tend to be harder to kill. Just in general, like, it's fairly like males are disposable for large reason. That's nature. We supposed to protect females because they do that one thing that guys can't do, and that's make other human beings.
And like, yeah, like Broken Heart was I was saying earlier, I was informing Broken Hearted Liberal that when computers were still new and like had punch cards and took up the whole freaking room, the people that did all the programming were the women because it was considered secretarial work. So I don't understand why there's not more female programmers. Like, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to do it. Like, we are actually probably better suited for programming than men are. But you're just going into freaking women's studies and all that shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very much on the merit-based side of this. So, like, whoever's best for the job, I don't care what they are. Just whoever's best for the job, they get the damn job. Just, that's it.
Okay. No, it is. A lot of people are ragging like, we have more diversity, and like me personally, I think diversity is bullshit, and it pisses people chips on the shoulder because like someone like me, I can go in and I'm not a lazy dude, and I graduated pretty high grades. I scored like a 30 on the ACTs. I scored like a 1440 in the SATs. I'm a fairly smart dude, so like. I think it sucks that you get other guys who didn't work as hard as me getting the same reward, and then with that, it's unfair for like people, not even white people, like for, like Asians, like who generally be very smart people, that they not getting into these fields because like, oh, we got too many of this one group.
Right, and then you like I was saying when we first started the whole thing, I am not white. And I don't like the fact that I'm constantly questioning my work because, like, did you hire me because you actually think I'm good, or did you hire me because I'm Hispanic? Because I don't want you to hire me because I'm Hispanic. I want you to hire me because I'm good at the job.
Right.
No, the funny thing, my last job I felt like I was overqualified. It was me and this other girl, and she was very unqualified, but she was, this pretty female. Didn't get me like. Yeah, I got 8 years of managementship. I've worked in different buildings. I ran kitchens. I ran stores. So, yeah, this is my credential. And it would be suck like, oh, well, we need to hire a female, so we go on this person right here. Either they're vastly unqualified. It just sucks because a lot of times those people who are vastly unqualified for jobs, they usually quit. Even with a lot of black students who go into like colleges like Harvard, who is there because they're black, they have a much higher dropout rate if they would go to a regular school. Because it's like sticking a big fish in a big fish that was in a small pond into like aquarium. Like, oh shit, now it's a really, really, really huge tank that it doesn't need. Where you could just stick with fish that's swimming at the same level of this fish.
And like, I'm just gonna call us in general like diverse people. And when you get hired for a job, like I was mentioning medicine, all of a sudden people are questioning your ability because they don't know if you were hired just to fill a diversity quota or if you're actually good.
No,
And it's not good for anybody involved, really. Diversity is fine, but we can't be so diverse that diversity is like not even diversity anymore. It's just hiring to fill quotas.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
the other thing was,
no, go ahead.
real quick, in one of the applications I put in, it was like, because they shove it in your face, and it's like, oh, do you have any underrepresented like experiences or something like that?
Christ.
They're essentially like, so if anybody applies to these things, then it's just being shoved in your face, and people are like, why are they getting the special treat? Like, it creates tension, basically, right there. I don't know.
No, because it's like this. Because we can't pretend like everybody's equal. Because even with the field I'm going into electrical. Like, it's the reason why you're not gonna find a bunch of women electricians. Because at the end of the day, the amount of voltage that would stun me would kill a woman. And this, you learn this in safety class, and I had like this safety course for like 2 months of the safety, and like it's a difference. The amount of voltage that will like really like it will still fuck me up, but it will kill a woman.
So there actually is a difference in tolerances there, you're saying?
Yeah, it's like so you're not gonna. It maybe for like every one female electrician, you're gonna find 89 male electrician. It's a very male dominant, and it's for a reason. You're not gonna find a smaller woman because you get shocked. What you get shocked doing electrical work. It's different than if I get shocked and like, oh, that fucking hurts, versus a woman getting shocked and like, oh, we got a dead woman on our hands.
I do electrical work, not professionally, but I like take 7, 8, 9, 10 precautions before I do fucking anything because I know that shit can kill me.
I mean, there also might be something as to the weight difference. That's the only I'm not
body
familiar
mass.
At all. Yeah,
it's
but
probably body mass.
Well, even with that, males and females, it's so much difference, and like it's not bad that we had difference. Like male skins tend to be tougher, like it's more rugged, while female skin is much softer. Even our organs and how our blood flows to our body is different. Females' organs tend to be more bunched together internally, while males' organs is more spread apart. As I say, it's harder to kill the guys because our organs are spread out. We get we tend to be wide chested.
You know what's really weird? Women tend to have a higher survival rate when it comes to accidents like car accidents and such over the long term. Like if it doesn't kill us immediately, we're more likely to recover.
Yeah, but you have these amazing organ that reproduce life. So that even with that, there have been cases where women have been like do pregnancy and they had heart problems, and the fetus itself will send stem cells to the mother heart and repair the heart. So like females, they're much better at surviving. At the end of the day, you get like I'm 24. It's most likely you're gonna outlive me like by years.
It's about I want to say like a decade, I think, is the average.
Yeah,
at least like 5-10 years.
I think the average like survival rate over men is like 12 years.
Okay.
I think that it was 12 last I checked. I think I'm not sure if that's a world rate or if it's just the United States though, because then that's different again too. Because it can vary wildly between countries, depending on what's going on in the country.
I want to say that 10 years is I remember it being like the United States / like, like the Western sort of modernized countries.
In Europe, I'm not sure. Because like Japan, it's higher. Like the women outlive the men by like 23 years. It's like a ridiculous amount of time.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
yeah, Japan actually has a huge problem with too many old folks and not enough people to take care of them.
Well, they also have a very low birth rate. They're not replacing. They're not even like on equal basis replacing. I don't know about now, but they have in the past had sort of a xenophobic-ish attitude, and they don't really like foreigners living there. You can visit.
Still kind of there. It's still kind of there.
No, it's I don't know. Even with that recent Google thing, it's like, yeah, males tend to be like make more, but we die like 10 years earlier, and we tend like commit suicide at much higher levels, and also just in general, we don't really take care of, or really control how our children is, or it's so much going against males. Like being a male is a large part. Yeah, like it sucks. Like everybody got some benefits, some not.
In regards to suicide, just a point of clarification. I believe, on average, women tend to try to commit suicide more, but men are more successful.
Because we don't use methods to commit suicide that affects our looks. We use things like poison, overdosing on medicine, and things like that, which are, you're much more likely to find somebody who's taken a bunch of pills and be able to revive them than you are somebody who shoots themselves in the head.
Yeah. You can't put your brains back in. So.
Yeah, women very rarely shoot themselves as a form of suicide. Very, very rarely. I think it's like 5%.
Oh, wow.
Even suicide is going up.
Yeah, suicide in general is going up between men and women. Ugh.
And it was funny. Someone was like had an article like, "Oh, it's a suicide problem with females. It's suicide and females have rose from 3% to 5% of females, and for males it have raised to 12% to 15%. So like, you tell me that still, males is 3 times higher than females, and we still focusing on women. They do suicide across the board, but it's still like we have to focus on the suicide problem with women. When it's like it's been obvious for years, it's a suicide issue with males.
It's like, ladies, please don't close that gap. That's a bad gap to close.
All right.
I mean, let's close it in the opposite direction. Let's not it wasn't a contest. Please don't do that.
It's not a contest at the bottom, essentially, of the
Don't race to the bottom. Let's pull the guys up. Let's not race to the bottom to meet them on that particular statistic. That would be terrible. No.
Yeah. All right. Back to the thing. So like this like I was reading, because I hadn't read it before. I read it. I started reading it about two hours ago or something like that. And the most crazy thing about this was like here in the title it says non-discriminatory ways to reduce the gender gap. So he's literally proposing ways to reduce the gap without like alienating people, and he gets fired for that.
Yeah. Almost everything he said I agreed with and was reasonable. And it also kind of worries me that people can't bring this kind of thing up to their companies without worrying about being fired. I think they should be able to, because I think companies should listen to their employees.
No, it's absolutely sad that he got fired, because like he's telling like maybe instead of trying to force diversity, maybe we should let it just naturally happen and just have a better company. Even on YouTube, you look on the trending page, and Stephen Curry made a video just like they're forcing liberalism, and like all right, we kind of done with that. We need to go back to conservatism, because at the end of the day, it's like my father said, anything that's forced, like it's like this, like it's like love. It's like taking a fart. If you got to force it, it's probably shit. But and they forcing it, like it's a shit movement. Like if you gotta have 50% females and 50% males, so you're gonna scrape the bottom of the barrel to get any female in there who is halfway decent at doing this job. Even like we're gonna have all males, all females. We're gonna have females, males. We're gonna have black, white, Asian, equal pie. That you're not even looking at a person based on the individual level. Look at the person as a group. And if that's right there is sexist and racist.
I mean, the thing is, them going, because this social justice
diverse for being racist.
This sort of social justice. These people essentially have been going after the CEOs and essentially trying to get women in CEO positions. And hello. Did you stop?
I'm still here. It's still live.
I see you. I'm
Sorry. Yep, I'm back. I apologize. I went into another room and lost the connection. That was a mistake.
Fair enough. Justice is going after CEO positions, And really, to me, this essentially just exposes their hand as it's just a power play. Because I posted on Twitter, basically waste management treatment jobs is 94 point something men. Nobody is going after the wastewater treatment jobs. Nobody is advocating for that.
That pays good. I would love that job, actually. I don't care that I come home smelling like literal shit.
But I mean, none of these social justice people are going after that chunk of job.
They're not going to, like this. They're not going to, because people like, I told feminists, I have friends who are like hardcore like feminists that I'm forced to work with, unfortunately, for right now. So, and I say like, how come you want the comfortable jobs like CEOs or these jobs we can sit at a desk where no, these are high paying job, high stress jobs. How come you fight for these jobs and nag about the pay gap on these jobs, but you guys would not fight for garbage man? You would not fight for firemen. You're not gonna fight for females in police. You're not gonna fight for more females in the army. You're not gonna fight for more all these horrible jobs where it's like 98% males, 99% males, 97% males. And then this response back, well, because in those fields it can be very rough and it can be very tough on the females.
No shit.
Like, or females just don't want to do jobs like that.
No, they don't.
Like, do you want to have the equity in job related deaths? Like, do you want to do that?
Even like that's going to like a bunch of guys like, hey boys, who want to be a nanny? Come on, we need more some more mannies. Who, and like it's going to like, what the fuck you do? Yeah, you're gonna see one every once, but this is a female dominated area. Even with nurses, like it's female dominated. And like we need more male nurses, so we're gonna get the most low hanging fruit of the worst male nurses out there, because we need more now.
Right, like if a guy wants to be a male nurse, he should be allowed to. Like if he really wants to do that with his life, go for it. We need some more people who are passionate about their freaking job.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna. Yeah, if there's a male nurse, sure, as long as he's good at his job. Again, goes back to the doctor thing, as you were saying, Thorne. It's like if he got put in there because he was a diversity hire to get more male nurses, I don't know, he could be totally incompetent.
My female friend cuts sheet metal because she's like, you know what? This fucking pays better. I can do it. I'm gonna fucking be up. No, sorry, she's a welder. She's the only woman in her whole shop, but she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And now she's a welder. She's the only feminist that I can tolerate because the rest of them drive her crazy. She's like, oh yeah, you want the money, but you don't want to put in the work.
Right. I mean, I suspect, like, if she's a feminist, she's probably, like, what, second wave or something, like, choice feminist.
She's, like, second wave feminist, I guess.
Which, I mean, from what I read, like, generally, like, choice feminism or whatever you want to call it, is, like, I could easily get along with those people. It's like, do what you want, do what you're passionate at, what you're good at, go for it. Like, be happy. Yeah. It's just...
The guys in her shop did not respect her at all. She had to earn their respect. So,
right. I mean, the thing about that, though, is, like, in general, I think what at least some people don't understand is, like, guys, like, you need to earn the respect. Like, even with other guys, it's like they'll shit on you until you essentially earn their respect. So it's not like it's maybe gendered, but in general, it's just like we shit on everybody.
I think she maybe
respect them.
And I honestly think she might have gotten it a little bit more because she was female, but really that's just kind of how guys are. Like, I'm not going to respect you until you prove that I should respect you for some reason.
That's how guys are. It's just general. And I don't. So it's like, even with Nita Sarkeesian, it was like, oh, these guys are horrible troubles. Like, and then you look at all the footage of, like, this is back with VidCon, of how those interact with each other. Like, I think that's just how they are.
Yep.
And that's just how guys are in general. I can say that.
Yeah, and I'm it drives me nuts when I go to like a party or something and it's mostly guys and I'm the only chick and everybody's being like rowdy and talking and telling dirty jokes and then I walk in and everybody falls silent. I'm just like, no, I wanted to tell dirty jokes too. That's not fair. And they're treating me different because I'm female and it pisses me off. No, I want to tell body jokes too.
Fair enough.
Treat me the same.
Like,
we should get back. We're a bit far off topic. We should.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's fine. It was an entertaining discussion. Clash, do you have it up as well, or
have what?
The article or the memo?
The memo? I did
No,
not.
put it back up because I got disconnected for a moment.
All right, I'll put it up.
There we go.
We're on page 5. So non-discriminating ways to reduce the wage gap. So essentially, like he's not even saying to let it happen naturally. Like he's kind of saying it. So he's sort of like he's just not saying like force it. So basically saying women on average show a higher interest in people and men in things. So basically have more cooperative programming. Stuff like that. It's 2 bullet points, but basically more cooperation in coding and sort of make it more of a social sort of environment, more cooperation. And then he's also saying women on average are more prone to anxiety, so make tech and leadership less stressful. Google already partially does this with stress reduction courses and benefits. That sounds like, if women indeed do like more cooperation, then making coding more cooperative, less sit in your basement kind of thing, or sit alone in a cubicle kind of thing, then, it could encourage more women to go to fields.
I think what it is you have the angry feminists who, because with that this seems very reasonable. I fucking interact with the alt-right all the fucking time and like terse all the fucking time, and this is like, yeah, this is very reasonable. This is actually refreshing that he's being so cordial. I think it's a bunch of angry females who just bitter that wants everybody to be equal, like we're just as good as males, when that's not true. And it's like this new wave of feminists is so cancerous that this is like, hey, males and females are different, and like, whoa, that you being a bigot now. Even I had a friend tell me like my wife's gonna be a housewife. I'm working until I can get a job so she take care of the kids and she stay at home and take care of the house. And like say feminists, because I'm a proud boy. Like feminists don't look up for the housewife. They don't say that the housewife is part of the patriarchy. And feminists like, oh well, it is. That there's nothing feminine about being a housewife. Like there's nothing feminine about being a housewife.
What are you talking about? Like caring? We're biologically created to care for children. I mean, I don't like kids. I'm a weird woman, but still, like that's our breasts make milk. I don't understand what is not feminine about caring for kids.
It's like you guys literally make like titty food.
No, I think the funniest interaction I ever seen was Christopher Hitchens. He was being interviewed by, I assume she was a feminist based on her reaction, but he basically said, "Woman I marry is ever gonna work if she doesn't want to." And she looked at him like so offended, and he said, and then he like repeated himself like, "If she doesn't want to." like as in she has the option to work if she wants to, but I will provide and care for her. And the woman interviewing him was like looking so offended, like he was the most misogynist piece of trash. And it's just like, he doesn't want to.
Like it's a weird thing. Like if she doesn't work, if she didn't want to work and want me to take care of, then it's a problem. Like how? I don't know. I feel like I'm living in cuckoo land.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. People try to be reasonable, and literally, with feminists like that, the third and fourth wave feminists, it's kind of like walking on eggshells because anything that you say could potentially like result in screech. I told a joke about Zima and I got yelled at. If you don't know, Zima is like a type of alcohol that was kind of stereotypically linked to gay men in the 80s. I told a joke about Zima and I got yelled at for it. It's freaking alcohol. Yeah. How sensitive can you be?
I mean, the thing is, like, it's just like, this reminds me of the Count Dankula thing. It's like, on Twitter, is basically, we want to make edgy Nazi jokes because Nazis are a joke.
Yep.
It's a bad thing. Let's joke about this.
So, like, don't give them any respect.
It's one way of, like, reducing the power of people who still consider, like, the people who actually call themselves Nazis. You are a fucking joke. This is what we think of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even with me, people, I don't think what I kind of see, I'll probably speak off stream, is like the alt-right. I troll the alt-right. I actually make fun of the alt-right. And right now, if you go to my Twitter feed, it's like I have 20 notifications from the alt-right.
I haven't run into any of them yet.
I have.
You can, if you want to look on my who I'm following, I follow some of them and I'm starting to interact with some of them. And before anybody says anything, I follow everyone. I'm following Anita Sarkeesian. I'm following Richard Spencer. I'm following like literally the whole spectrum.
I'm blocked by a large portion of the social justice warriors.
I'm blocked by a bunch of TERFs, but that's about it. I made one of them cry. That's good. My badge of honor.
That's good. No,
I made her cry.
Is taking a piss out of it, because even with James Alsop, he was like, it was a picture of him. Yeah, it was a picture of him and some black guy like standing face to face, and he looking all serious, and like, oh man, look at the power. Oh man, look at him. Oh man, look at his stance. And I put a GIF right under the picture. Now kiss.
Now kiss.
So I just took the piss out of that picture because it's the second highest. It's right after that picture is the highest like thing is right under that tweet.
Yeah. So no, but yeah. I mean, this is like a perfect example, because like, why would you take him seriously if he's a joke? Like, nobody takes you seriously, and then he'll either leave the internet in shame or change the belief systems because of the social pressure of not being taken seriously.
No, because it's totally. I totally agree on that, because like some things the alt-right saying is true, but some things like you have to make fun of the alt-right, like
it's like broken clock type situation.
Yeah, because people, when it's like, oh look at these crazy ass black people, and one thing, like, you do realize rednecks are a thing.
You do realize trailer parks are a place that exists, right?
Yeah, like I have friends who are redneck, and I fucking love them. I love them to death, but they are rednecks. Like, they're not. Like,
they are nuts.
Yeah, I love shooting with them. I love going out hunting. I love eating their food. I love hanging out by the campfire. But you're like, oh, the white race is the spirit. Like, no, everybody got bad. Everybody got good. And don't pretend like Europe was so perfect. We cannot forget about the Dark Ages and the Black Plague, and how it wiped out 80% of Europe, and basically Europe almost died because it was literally shitting in the same place they were drinking water from.
Yeah, because you shat in your drinking water.
At least Africa figured that out. Don't shit in the water that you drink from. At least
right, it's like they figured out the whole don't shit upriver.
No. Well, I mean, the other thing is, like, there's some like alt-right people who are like, you know, like, oh, the Roman Empire, and, you know, we were so great, and it's like, you guys had lead pipes. You guys made you made yourselves retarded.
They had lead drinking vessels. They put water in lead vessels. No, I'm not trying to take the shit out of the Romans in case Martius is watching me later. But yeah, but there's a lot of fucked up things that like even ancient Europe did. Did you know that the Celts, like a lot of Celtic kings, one of their conversation starters was to pull out a chest full of lacquered heads of their enemies? Yeah, that sounds really fucking civilized, doesn't it?
Even with vampires, you understand that's European culture from Vlad and Paler, and like that's all European history. We can't. It's so much like because I study history. Like you can't just claim the good part of history. Like Queen Elizabeth only bathed twice a year.
Yup.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's where the whole thing of you know how women carry the bouquet when they get married. That's an old tradition because everybody smelled like ass. It's to cover the smell.
No. The best part was Tara McCarthy. She literally posted DNA evidence shows that King Tut was mostly white. This is the we was king shit.
It was.
That is we was king shit. No, he wasn't. He was fucking Egyptian.
Because it's like this. Like, where was King? What was King Tut living in? Well, he lived in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
What? Where is Egypt? It's Africa. These Africans.
Yeah, he's African. Also, like he's Egyptian. Egypt is basically like ethnically, Egypt is basically an amalgam of a bunch of different fucking colors. So don't even start with that shit.
But the thing is, like, he may have, like, DNA wise, okay, he may have been. But the thing is my point in all of this is it doesn't matter because you're a pleb. Like, she's a pleb. Everyone's a pleb. You weren't like
we are kings. We are. I made a joke, so we was Vikings. And I made it
the Celtic one. The Viking, the actual Viking thing from the BBC made me laugh.
Yeah.
Oh,
the alt-right didn't like that.
You know what? I may use that because I'm kind of getting into Photoshop a little bit, and I'm gonna put Tara's face on some things, and I don't think she's gonna like it.
We was gay.
He was Vikings. I like it. I'm gonna take that.
No, because we have to meme them to death like BLM.
Oh, there's like some alt-right site that was trying to say that since Persians were technically white, that like somehow some Persian actually taught Buddha everything that he knows. So like Asian culture has everything to do with white culture. I'm just like, no, this is straight up we was kings.
It is. It is. You cannot
tweeted that as well. Yeah.
Because even it was a live stream with Romy and Millennial and a couple other right versus
Richard Spencer.
No, it was Ranting Monkey.
Oh, okay.
Naked Ape. It was Naked Ape. And one of my subscribers, he tweeted me like, was fucking him in the stream. This is how fucking sensitive already. Like, fucking kill white people. White people's gonna die. You guys getting cooked by dumb Africans. If you guys are so superior, how come you guys are being cooked by Africans? This so. And he started like whining, like, see right there, this is why we need to alt-right right there in the chat. Like
my feelings
triggered? Like you
It is. They want their safe space. They're literally asking for safe spaces, and it's funny. I like to just show pictures of myself because I'm like super, super mixed. I'm actually like a tiny part African too, and I'm just like, hi, I exist. My existence triggers you, doesn't it? Swirling.
No, millennial woes, because multiple people likes me say this. I'm kind of like the antichrist for the alt-right. I'm actually a very intelligent black male who actually IQ is higher than the average white guy, and I understand a lot of the things they speak on at a much deeper level than the most alt-right people do. And Millennial Woes, he actually believes that stuff. Like he was going. It was Roman Millennial and Millennial Woes, and like no, like honey, you're an issue. You're adorable, but this is a bad thing. You're white and Asian. That shouldn't happen. Like it's like stop whining. Like go get laid. Go get a white wife. Make sure she's boring, flat ass, flat titties, as gorgeous as possible.
Only have sex in the missionary position for the purposes of procreation.
Only have sex in the missionary, and then have as many white kids as you want. And then I got backlash for saying that. Like, if you want to save the white race, it's not a black guy standing at your door, stopping your penis for entering a vagina. You can't. Like, as a joke. As a joke, I was surprised. As a joke, I did a poll. It had over 300 people that put it down. As a joke, I put down, blame the Jews for the reason why I can't get it up. It was number 4. And then somebody got on my channel and then say, why don't you say and talk about the Jewish media telling white people not to have kids? Like, I was saying that as a joke.
What are jokes? What are jokes?
And you're literally telling me that Jewish people are stopping you to have kids.
I was kidding. What the fuck? No, but there's like this one dude, and he's like posting all these fucking memes. I remember now. I have run into the alt-right. He's the only person I have blocked because he's being a dipshit. But he posted this thing with like paint, and he's like, "This is why the races shouldn't mix." So he had yellow, he had the primary colors, and they mix together. They form brown. I'm just like, you do realize that paint doesn't have genetics? It's paint. And also, if you want to talk about paint, you need brown to make other fucking colors and shades and shit. So you still need the fucking brown. This is a retarded argument.
Even right now, it's still going on my Twitter where they're going back and forth about, because this dude is strawmanning like, oh, why don't you understand race realism? And like, all right, you can say that, but you guys are still losing. And like, if you guys are so superior, then why are you guys like basically being bred out by choice? Where it could be artists say, "Hey, don't have sex," and you got like, "Yeah, that sounds all right. Let's do that." That doesn't seem very smart.
According to your own fucking shit, then if you were dumb enough to listen, then you deserve to be bred out. Like, that's your own fucking argument that I just used against you.
I saw this.
Right, like,
the funny thing, I saw the same. I saw the same article where it's like, it was my name, like, black women need to stop having sex with black males until they start fighting for our rights.
Oh my god!
And across the board, it was like a big fuck you from the black community. Like, fuck, we're not doing that shit. We can keep having sex.
Oh, it's like the whole Gazi, and it's like with mixed families. I'm from a mixed family. I'm not the same race as my parents because they adopted me. And then like freaking Gazi comes up and is like, white people need to stop adopting black children. I don't.
What? Why?
Yeah. Well, and then it was like, I don't see black families like lining up to adopt them. That's why the white people are adopting them. But
Ooh,
like, why? Because he's like, oh, then they don't learn about their culture. I'm just like, it's literally just a skin color, dude.
I mean, you can also like. I mean, it's not like white people can't buy, but like expose them to African American culture, like.
My whole thing is like, who cares? It's just a skin color. Just raise your kids, give them a stable home, and they'll be fine.
Right.
That's all you have to do, really. I don't know. It's funny thing where it's the alt-right is left, and they want. I'll tell people like alt-right need to stop calling themselves right wing because I'm actually right, very right. I believe in smaller government. I believe to get the government out of the way to the people, or you're gonna be a neoliberalism. But like all right is like we want bigger government. That's not right wing. That's not even alternative to right wing.
They're authoritarian.
Yeah. Like, you want bigger government. You want to play identity politics, and don't like at least the left won't admit they're playing identity politics. Like Richard Spencer will go like, yeah, we're playing identity politics. Like,
oh yeah, I want to deport all the non-white people. He straight up said it.
The way, so real quick, I think the thing is with what they're doing now is they want to break the United States up into like 3 different areas or whatever. Because I saw what one of them posted to me. It was basically like the parts of the South would be given to blacks, parts of like California and Texas would be given to Mexico, and Mexicans would live there. And then there's like the rest is white. I don't know where like mixed people go though.
Yeah.
I mean, this is also like the problem that the Nazis had is like there was a conference and like, how do we deal with mixed people? Because they're like, do we abandon the quote white half of them, save the white part, and like breed them with white people? And it just sounds like a giant headache of bureaucratic nightmare of just
your worldview is fucked up when you can't get past the logistical stage.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm eating.
I guess technically they did get past the logistical stage, but they had to force it through, like, like this.
Oh, P.S. Their answer was sterilization, but yeah.
Yeah.
I read into it because I was curious. I'm like, what did they do with all the mixed people? Because I know that there was a very small amount of like either Black Germans or mixed Germans, and the answer was sterilization. I was like, oh, well, that was cheery. Let's go get some alcohol.
Yeah. The thing is one thing that the theory that I need to like do more research to do, but like I feel like with commies are like, oh, you know, we just need to do it right, and you know, we won't turn into the horrible USSR and stuff like that. When like again, it's been shown like you trying to do a commie revolution and all this becomes just authoritarian crap.
This ends
and
with people like being thrown out of the Felicking helicopter. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean that. Yeah. In the end, when it collapses, yeah. But the thing is, like, I also feel like the alt-right are kind of denying this as well, because like, in order to create this utopian thing, you have to become super authoritarian. You have to start judging by, you know, skin color, and you gotta like militarize and kick people out and deport them, and you know, you have to like move people around in giant upheaval and all this other stuff. And the only way to control that would be an authoritarian sort of militarized kind of thing. So you're gonna go into the same exact thing.
Yeah, that's why it's like too far to the left, it's bad. Too far to the right, it's bad. They're equally bad. Also, Richard Spencer was saying, it's like, oh no, we'll do that, but we're going to do it peacefully. I'm like, how the hell do you expect to uproot that many people peacefully? That is not going to be peaceful. A large number of whom have guns.
That's the thing about that. That's why the Second Amendment is in the Constitution, because like if something like that would happen, like you can try to move them or try to screw them over. Good luck.
I'm not going anywhere. I don't even have guns, and I'm not going anywhere. You're going to have to shoot my ass. You're going to have to shoot an unarmed person if you tried to move me.
So, yeah. I mean, the thing was, Tara McCarthy just straight up said it, though. Because, like, I did a video on her, and Nightmare Fuel also did a video on. I took some stuff from him, but basically, she was like, we need to deport them physically, and if they resist, kill them. What? Like, how is that in any way who's gonna support you? Like, who's gonna support, like, oh, we're just gonna kill them if they resist? It's just like people, that's too much effort.
It's the UN will come and fucking like this. The UN, which is very liberal and very cucked, will come and fucking take that government out of power.
Good.
Like it was me, like, you can try. I will fucking dare you to try. Like, you can say that. Like, I had this one alt-right dude, and he made a lot of sense. Like, we can have an area, we can zone it out. There's nothing, it was already there beforehand, where we could build our own little village and just, have a bunch of white people there. Like, that's reasonable. I can't stop you. If you want to have,
awesome, go. Bye. See ya.
I would actually, to be honest, I was kind of looking at that too. If they, if we could just set out like some island or some little parcel of land for all of them to go to, do it. Just let them all go there and make their.
Give him Oklahoma. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Clashing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Guns in Oklahoma.
No, so it's like, if you have your own little area and separate from yourself from America and American freedom, like, go ahead. But I like Mexican food, so fuck you.
I love sushi.
I love sushi. I love Mexican food. I like Japanese food. So it's like you telling yourself that I want to separate myself from everybody and everything and what makes America America. Like, you don't have to, and people are like, well, no, I don't agree that America makes great the immigrants. Like, what makes America great is we bring the best of the best, even when so we have the best of the best. We have the best Asian, the best blacks. A lot of black people for years came over here was entrepreneurships. They had business. Some of the hardest workers.
Mm-hmm.
So you want those people not to be here, and then you like, oh, we're gonna have our own white country. Like, no. And Richard Spencer and all right would never be in power. I told him, like, you guys would never be in power. I'm sorry to say that.
I'm sorry, I don't even think that the United Nations would have to intervene. I think the minute that they tried to tell the military to do that, they'd be like, no, I think it's time for a military coup. This is not a thing that's happening. Because like half of my unit is, not white.
There'd literally be a civil war. And I believe Russia also said if Texas wanted to secede from the United States, he would actually like give weapons to them. I don't know if that's an exact quote, but I think he did that. So if we had a civil war, Russia would get in on it and start shipping weapons to whatever side. So like to the rebel side or whatever. And so like even if they were even if white supremacists were a majority of the government, you'd have a giant rebellion on your hands. No, like a bunch of white people wouldn't want that. A lot of the minorities wouldn't want that. It's impossible. And then the other crazy thing, this was like a while back, but I had a conversation, and like one of the guys was like, "Oh, I want only 95% or greater white percent who are 95% white, and kick everyone else out." I was like, "Okay, good, you wrecked the economy." He's like, "I don't care about the economy," and I just laughed at him. I just laughed at him.
That's a really popular thing to say to right-wing people. I don't care about the economy. Mm-hmm.
You can't tell people who are all right-wing, like, hey, fuck the economy. Like,
it's like what your main things.
It's stupid. Like, I'm going to be in an era with nothing but white people. We're going to be broke. We're going to be poor. You're going to be socialist. So basically, we'll be Venezuela.
Venezuela.
It's going to be white people. It makes no sense.
I actually had an argument with somebody who used Japan as an example of like a homogenous nation that works. And then like when I mentioned, I'm just like, well, Japan also doesn't like have any guns. So why don't we just use the Japan model for guns? He's like, oh, well, that wouldn't work because they're a small country. I'm just like, oh, you don't say. You see why you're a retard?
Okay, we should finish just real quick. Let's finish up the Google thing.
I'm sorry, we went on a tangent. It was a good tangent though.
But basically, he like goes into ways to the gap, and then he also talks about the harm of Google's biases. Basically, saying like only certain programs, mentoring, and classes are for a certain gender or race, and stuff like that. Basically, he's like. He's saying let's not like only have certain genders or races and stuff like that. Let's stop being racist. And it's just like, and he also goes into a little bit about how feminism has liberated women to a degree and stuff like that, but male gender roles are still largely like intact or whatever, and he's saying that there's some work that could be done there, and basically Google is being racist because there's like diversity hiring practices and stuff like that.
It's what I like to call soft bigotry of low expectations.
Yeah. And that's pretty much the end of the article. I mean, he suggests ways to fix it and stuff like that, and
then he got fired.
There's nothing.
It's absolutely horrible about that.
Yeah, and when you boil it down, it was really of somebody who was concerned about the way that their company was going, and he tried to bring this to their attention and have a dialogue, and he got fired for it instead, which kind of really fucking sucks. On that sense too.
I mean, again, based on his resume, they fired somebody extremely well qualified. So get wrecked.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure like he's gotten several job offers since then. I know Gab gave him a job offer. So
who?
Gab.
Like it's the alternative to Twitter.
Yeah, they're trying to replace Twitter.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a new YouTube. It's gonna be a mass deportation of conservatives and libertarian views on YouTube. And I don't think YouTube realized, like, yeah, you can get your dumb videos, but
I'm not either of those things, but I still kind of like I'm gonna upload my stuff on vid.me instead, like in both spots, just because I want people to be able to speak their mind and stuff, even if they have vile views, because, you know, sunlight is the best fucking disinfectant for that shit. And I'd rather they speak their mind.
We can easily I identify somewhat with the skeptic community, and like I was back in the creation when the creationists were running around. We took them on, destroyed them. They're relatively quiet. The social justice is sort of destroyed, at least on YouTube, not so much in wider society, but on YouTube, it's mostly debunked and stuff like that. Like people are able to debunk bad ideas.
Yeah.
Just you piss people off enough, and they'll get on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We don't need a corporation telling us what to say. And this is where the whole liberal thing comes in, because that's basically what this corporation is doing, saying what we can and cannot say through like demonetization and not listing videos and things like that.
It's a very soft, it's a very soft sort of censorship.
Mm-hmm.
Is you really, because you're trying to make it seem like that Donald Trump or the right is the new rise of Nazism and Hitler.
Oh Jesus!
Like, or even George Orwellian society. Like, you guys really haven't read those books, have you? I have read Mein Kampf, and I have read most of George Orwell's books. Like, Donald Trump is not Hitler. Bernie Sanders might be Hitler, but I don't know.
I don't even think Bernie Sanders is Hitler. Like, basically, the word Nazi no longer means anything.
No, but actually,
it really does not.
The funny thing is, Steven Crowder made his awesome video where he mixed in a bunch of Bernie Sanders quote with Stalin and Mao and Hitler. You can't tell. You can't tell the difference.
I mean, I played that game before and stuff sort of gone through that. I mean, like, the thing is, like, if I'm sure Hitler believed that the world was round. Yeah. Does that mean that the world isn't round? It's sort of like it's a really weird game to play. Like, it's indistinguishable, because like also with Trump, they did Trump quotes with Adolf Hitler. No, what was it? They did Adolf Hitler quotes in place of they were with Trump or whatever.
Oh my God!
So you can do this with all kinds of quotes.
No, I don't know how valid that was, because the person's SoFlo, like, he been debunked so many times and he have been caught. Like, he's a prankster, so like I wouldn't trust a prankster for actually having like he runs a prank channel.
Crowder?
No, SoFlo.
Who?
Oh, I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
They replaced Donald Trump's. I'm very suspicious about that. Because prank channels, they tend to lie.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah.
But even with Bernie Sanders, he's low hanging fruit this time.
I mean, the thing is, well, I'll just admit my bias, just for clarity. I was a Bernie supporter, a Bernie Sanders supporter. Now I might be moving away a little bit, because like he started campaign. I saw that he campaigned with Linda Sarsour, and then his wife was like, "I'm being persecuted by the FBI because of sexism and stuff like that." I was just like, no. If there's corruption, there's corruption. Like, I'm not being partisan about this. You're corrupt. You're corrupt. I don't care, party or not. It doesn't matter. So it's just like, I'm like, this is getting uncomfortable.
Yeah, so. His support of Linda Sarsour was what made me break with him too.
Well, with me, everything he said, everything he said sounded good until you start using common sense. Like, oh, all these sounds horrible. There's a lot of his plans. It sounded really good, but then economics is a thing.
I think it's the whole thing that I didn't really trust Hillary or Trump.
Oh, I did. Knock the phone out. Hello?
Hello, we heard you. Hello?
I mean, I could totally unload on Hillary, and I mean, Trump obviously lies a lot back and forth. Like, that's just undeniable.
Oh, I'm back. I'm sorry.
the thing
We
about
can hear you.
Yeah, my headphones fell out.
Okay.
the thing
Trump
about
lies
Hillary
a lot.
though is, yeah, I mean, he lies a lot. Hillary lies a lot, and I mean, the thing about Hillary is that she, you know, she had the entire establishment behind her, and that was one of the things that was just like, oof.
It was one of the things that drew me to Bernie because he was an establishment, and then I actually, I followed Trump like through his career on and off a little bit. I mean, I'm not that old, but I went back and watched some news coverage and stuff with him in it, and I don't know, something didn't sit right. You know, I got a gut feeling, and I'm just like, I don't trust him at all. And I just generally don't trust business types as well. So that might be my bias speaking, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it's generally liberal sort of bias to not like big corporations. And I kind of agree with you there. And the other thing, though, about the main thing that between Hillary and Trump, the thing was, like, people were saying, like, Hillary is really corrupt. One of the things that I saw in Trump that I didn't like was because there was, like, the bribery thing. And he had his own Trump Foundation problems and stuff like that. So I essentially saw him being corrupt. Like, he would be corrupt in his own different way, essentially.
Yeah, his own separate way. One thing I say about Trump is, like, I hated Hillary Clinton because she was just such a liar. And that's a lot of things. She backpedaled a lot of things that she had done in the past. So it's just, I just didn't like her at all. I think she's a bad person, and I think it's funny that she lost the presidency by Donald Trump. Donald Trump beat her. And you got to admit, that's a little funny that you lost to Donald Trump, a guy that never held office, a guy that was on tape to say, I can grab pussy and get away with it. I can shoot somebody in the middle of the street and nothing, I will lose any supporter, who had bust in. One of the most misogynistic guy out there. It's like, you lost to that.
Hey,
that is like,
you know what Donald Trump is? He's a salesman. He sold us a name and nothing else.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what he sold us. He sold us his name because that's what he does.
And MAGA hats.
And MAGA hats.
Well, I gotta say this. Unfortunately, Trump steaks, the Trump steaks are actually pretty good.
I haven't tasted them. One thing though, with Trump, like, one thing I like, the only thing I kind of had hope for in going into the Trump presidency was like he wanted to do like a very like he wanted to build the infrastructure. He wanted to, America first kind of thing, and he's really done that. I feel like, I mean, he's done some things that, like, for instance, again with like immigration and like breaking TPP, and stuff like that. He's done some things, but I feel like he's still North Korea a bunch. He's gone against Iran, Russia. He's still sort of like tangling with Syria. He's increased. Well, I mean, he did take back the CIA like funding of stuff, but he also has, he did bombing the Syrian government. So it's just like increased drone strike, like a lot of foreign policy stuff that is not, like non-interventionist basically. And that's, I wish he had, stuck with some of his promises. And I don't know, that I'd be a bit more on his side if he had focused more on the United States instead of outside.
Me too. I got called a nationalist for that. I'm just like, but and pragmatically speaking, but I live in the United States. I don't live in Israel. I don't live in fucking Pakistan. I live in the United States.
I mean,
and I'm the United States first.
As powerful as the United States is, we don't have unlimited anything. Like, it's not practical.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I gotta say, there's one thing about Israel. You mentioned Israel. The alt-right particularly hates me because I have dual citizenship in Israel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm Jewish, so when they heard information, like, for literally like maybe a month, I was just being fucking hounded. Cause like, Like, oh, you're supposed to be this civil nationalist, but like you have dual citizenship. You're not American first. Like, I'm for Western value. Israel is a Western country. They have democracy. It's the only Western country in the Middle East. Like,
I mean, the weird thing is when I got, speaking of Israel, like the weird thing I got into a spat with was like they're sort of using Israel as like an example of an as an example of an ethno state. And the thing was like one of the things is like also Israel, like let's just pretend it is an ethno state. It's in war constantly. It's in war against Gaza, it's Lebanon, like still at war with Syria, if I recall correctly. Like it's not like everything's all fine and dandy. So I mean, like using it as an example is kind of bad.
Real quick, Clashing, say something in the chat. Straight Sith Male wants to sub to you.
all right.
Just
Alrighty.
just say hi. You can click the link and follow it.
All right. Where is my keyboard? That is the question.
Or I can just send the link to your Twitter to him later. I don't know, either.
My keyboard.
Okay.
1 second. It's right there. It's wireless.
Oh, okay. We misplaced the keyboard. Technical difficulties again. Oh, broken-hearted liberal. What do you think of Ron Paul?
I don't, because like I am,
Right?
I'm liberal. Like I'm not gonna say like because I'm not a right libertarian. Because right libertarians want to like the government of like literally everything except for like maybe the courts, the military, and police or something.
It's very heartless to me as well.
Yeah, I mean the thing about that is also is like so like right libertarians will say like, oh, you know, the government is the tyranny. But if you strip all of the government, then the companies become the tyranny.
Right.
Like you need to strike a balance between too much government, too much corporations. Like, there needs to be some kind of balance. Like I'm not a communist. I don't want too much government, but I don't want too little government because then nobody protects you either. Like the government protects your rights.
Right, correct. There should be a balance between like the whole corporate, because you're right. If you remove all the checks and balances, everything like that, the corporations will take over, and then we have a whole new problem. We've replaced the government with corporations.
Basically, the Wild Wild West, which would be pretty fun.
It would be fun up until like the corporations put cameras in everything and watch you everywhere you go.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't happen.
Oh yeah, I think it would.
No, because corporations collect your data. Maybe they wouldn't put cameras, but they would collect a little bit of data so they can sell stuff to you.
Yeah.
Because you thought the government was coming for your guns? Wait until the corporations decide that you having guns is too much of a problem, so they just stop selling them to you.
Or they enforce like our security guards can have guns in our area. This is our corporate space. Our
And you can't.
corporate safe space. Like that.
Yeah.
Then
Just like
you
shit
would,
like that.
yeah. There needs to be some kind of balance.
I agree.
Folks are just like, oh, the corporation should have all the problems. I'm just like, oh, you thought the government was going to come for your guns. Oh, so watch out, fast.
One of the things one of the best arguments against the ANCAPs, not so much libertarian, but like the ANCAPs isn't like no government, is like, sure, like we created society to get away from nature. You want to regress back to nature where everyone stay in your home and defend your home with guns, or else people are going to come and violate your NAP. Like those people are like the ANCAPs are way too extreme. Like essentially, again, like they want to go back to nature, which is insane.
I'm gonna drop out. Oh my god! It's this new article about the Google documents. It's funny. It's a Google have been uncriticized for not doing nothing to promote gender equality and step out sexual harassment. Come on.
Are you serious?
Come on.
Right after this, you're gonna follow it up with that shit?
They got a quota of buzzwords that they gotta.
Oh my god.
They gotta meet.
I bet there is. I bet there's like some kind of media quota of buzzwords that they have to put in everything. Oh my.
Censorship. Yes.
Annoyed Thorn is annoyed.
I'm gonna do a video about this. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, you force a woman in places they don't want to be at, and then you get a bunch of random guys who is a male dominant area, and you want to be treated equally. Like, so if I'm gonna treat you equally, I think females think you treat me equally like I would treat a female, and that's not how males thinks. I'm gonna treat you like a male. Females do not want to be treated like males, and they get mad like you will say we want equality, but I don't want to be treated like a male. That's equality for males. I hit my friends in the dicks all the time.
What? Why do you hit your friend in the dick?
Just because I think it's funny.
Oh my
god. What was it? Okay, I need to find the article, but there was
it's in the chat.
In Australia.
Oh, no, never mind.
In Australia, they did a blind, like they did a study where they essentially gave employers blind like applications, like didn't have the name, didn't have the gender. And in Australia, at least, the number of male applicants that got accepted went up for some reason. So, like, essentially, it shows there's a bias for women that's existing. And of course, they immediately stopped doing what they were going to do because they thought it was going to, increase the number of women. And so they immediately stopped. Like, we can't have that. We need to get to the 50-50 quota. Like, we need to.
No, and you don't. That's it's well or willing. Like, either you do this or you just. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's pissing me off. Because, like I said, if somebody like me who is highly skilled and highly intelligent and highly well versed, and the reason why I have this intellect is because I worked hard and I studied. I'm constantly, looking at new information. And it's like, all right, you did this for years, and then you are just a female, so we're gonna group it together. It's this bigotry, assaults of low expectation is absolutely ridiculous. That this is even a thing in 2017. Like, we want equality, but equality is not equality if you gotta force it. I'm sorry, I'm ranting, but it's like, come on, like, why this is a thing? Like, he was being so reasonable. I think there are differences between females and males. Yes, males have testosterone. It makes us more aggressive. It let us work longer. We tend to be bigger. We tend to be stronger. We tend to use humor to cope with pain. Gosh, females, they emotion.
These are
things. When this am I the only woman that jokes when I get hurt? Oh my god, I'm a dude. I joke when I get hurt. Like, I sliced open my foot.
Time to put you on testosterone.
No, I am not a guy. No, I don't want a dick. I mean, I
don't think my husband would like that.
It'd be a very, very large, gross clitoris.
Hyena. Yeah, that's the joke. That's one of the reasons I picked a hyena as my avatar, because now I can make those jokes.
I'm
a no. Also, jokes about eating garbage, but yeah.
It's I don't know. I think rant on my YouTube channel, and I happy I have my large platform, so anybody would want to be mad at me, which I have pissed off everybody at this point now. It's like, these are things. Why are we arguing against biology? It's like,
I mean, I disagreed with some things that you said about biology, but I'm not going to get butt hurt.
No, they honestly don't believe there's differences though. Like literally there are
across the board. It's like, yeah, if you ask a black person, hey man, you like fried chicken and watermelon? I'm pretty much like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're like, yeah, it's fried chicken is good across the board in general. Like, I'm not saying like not all black people. I'm saying in general. I think we came to society where we don't know what statistics are. Like, in general, males are bigger than females. It's like and then you get like, well, I know a female taller than a male. I know one female. Like, I say in general. Do you know what general means?
Yeah. Like, there's always outliers. There's always the 6'7" woman that can like bench press a fucking car, but she's not the norm.
I know there's one woman.
Okay.
No, I don't. Oh, continue.
Ian Miles Strong posted a thing about this. A thing about it was a fat acceptance thing, and it was basically fatness is not inherently bad for you. It's the stress and the shame of being fat that is harmful to you. That was that like being fat has no complication at all.
Nothing. So
Go ahead.
It's I swear, this is why I'm going gray. Things like this. I just flip my lid. It's like being fat is not the reason why you're unhealthy. It's the stress
And social stigma.
Your body is under stress.
It's so wrong. I'm having a hard time internalizing this information.
We broke him. We broke the black guy. Woo!
I'll add something on top of that. Skinny women who are saying, "Oh, I love food so much," and eat a bunch of food. They are appropriating fat culture.
Fuck you! I'll eat all the food I want. I'm skinny and I just like I can really shovel the food back.
I'm sorry, we appropriated the proud fat race.
the land whale race.
Oh, this is not a thing.
Yes, it is. No. Here's the best one. I saw an article the other day. Apparently, according to some people, I am now too light-skinned to talk about the plights of people of color, despite the fact that I'm fucking Hispanic.
I saw that. I was so confused. Like,
wait. Is people of color now like color coded? If I went into a safe space, would they just like hold up like a fucking paint swatch of brown?
Racist. It's like.
I'm sorry, you need to be this particular shade of brown to enter this safe space.
No. What is it? They're doing a movie on Thurman Good Marshall or whatever. I think it was like he was the first Supreme Court justice. I might be getting the name wrong. There was an argument over. So apparently the Supreme Court justice was like a light-skinned black man, and they're like, "Oh, the guy playing him is too black."
Oh, for fuck's sake!
He's too black.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Is he a good actor?
Right? Like,
I don't know why these things are our things.
Chad saying the land whales wouldn't be much of a race.
What was the joke?
Use a harpoon.
I was interviewing an alt-right guy who was talking. It was like, so right now they're letting kids as early as 4 going on hormones, and you just see both of us just look like this.
How old again?
4. They're letting kids go on hormones.
Yeah.
When I was 4, I believe that my toy tiger was real and was going war with dogs. It was a whole fucking battles, and then we went outside and dug a fucking castle, and we had ants as fucking soldiers. This is me at 4.
So you were basically Calvin.
Yes, basically Calvin. So it's like, what if like at this age, like, well, he's believe that he's the tiger and he has a tiger army. That's fucking put a tail in him and get some damn whiskers.
No, he's a furry. They would have turned you into a furry.
No, don't give them ideas.
Furries, thank God, furry wasn't a thing when I was.
Oh my god, it started being a thing when I was graduating high school, and oh my god, no.
It's like,
I heard about it on the internet. It was. I was just like, oh wow, that's okay.
Have you seen an article that say that white people using black GIF is digital blackface?
Yes.
On
I responded by leaving a GIF of Whitney Houston and like a bunch of other ones because fuck you, don't tell me what to do.
I mean, it's like literally too much black people is what they're saying. Too much black people.
Like, hey. I know we want representation, but no doubt back about some. Only we can do this. If you're this colored, then you cannot do that. That is racism. How? Why?
It literally is.
No, I mean,
And then they say Martin Luther King. I'm like, no, don't you dare mention Martin Luther King. He would be rolling in his grave so fast we could make perpetual energy out of his corpse.
I told him, one time it was one thing. I was reporting like the amount of energy that would be generated from Dr. Martin Luther King's spinning grave will be monumental of the shit that's going on today.
Yes.
we could power.
He would just be like, no. It would be like the Boondocks. Fuck y'all, I'm out.
Fuck y'all niggas. I'm going to Virginia.
Well, it is an amazing show.
Yes. That was my favorite episode. My favorite episode.
I just, it's to this day, like the left is so racist right now. Where even, I'm going to post this video later. So I went to a Confederate rally because I was like, just because I'm a curious guy and I have a car, and I was free on a Saturday. I'm off Saturdays, so I was free on a Saturday. Like, let's see what's going on at this Confederate rally. Some of the most friendly people you ever will meet, to be honest. So me being me and getting in trouble, I was holding a rebel flag, and it was Black Lives Matter out there in Antifa, which didn't bother us because we all had guns. And you're on their side. I'm not joking this up. Like, I'm not going to use the word. Like, somebody paid that N-word with a hard R to be out there. And it's from their side, not the people with the damn Confederate flags. And the people would be like, oh, man, that's pretty fucking racist, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that surprised me is with all these, like, Confederate statues being removed, there is a surprising number of, like, Mexicans and Black people who are trying to keep them up. Like,
yeah.
I was actually kind of surprised. I mean, there's different reasons for it. Like, some of them want it as sort of like, it's a reminder of where we were and why it's a sign of progress. And then some are more historical, and some, it's various things like that. But it's just like, yeah, and of course, Antifa is like the mostly white, all clad in black, like people beating people up, and it's just like.
No, it's like if I'm not like sweet Lord Almighty, Jesus Christ, man, these damn crackers is the best, is the worst. No, Donald Trump's the devil. No, time. I made a joke, and I was with a bunch of black friends. Say, you know what to be black these days? Not speaking English and not wearing a bra. That's all you gotta do. Be black. So don't wear a bra. Get some nipple rings. Get some nappy ass afro, whatever hair you want to do. As long as it's not no nice. You can be fucking mad at it. You can have 5 locks going this way. You can do all that. That's what being black. But if somebody like me come out, I have been criticized like this guy sound like a Caucasian. You mean like I sound like proper English? Is that a thing we're doing now?
There's a dude that rants on the corner, and he has the most disgusting hair. Like, there is stuff stuck in it, and he's like talking about like white privilege and shit. And it's like, you need to stop talking about white privilege and like shave your head because you smell. He smells. I don't know if he's homeless or just doesn't wash. I don't know what it is with his hair.
It's the locks. It's the locks. It is like I don't want people realize because I have like my hair. I get it clean, very clean, and it's not even locks. These are actually twists. This is actually my hair. Mm-hmm. This is not locked in. This is my hair. I take this out. It's a giant afro.
My husband does. My husband's goes and like foofs out like a sheep.
So with the like locks, especially when they're very large, they're very hard to clean. Mm-hmm. And we have the bigger they are, the worse they smell. And all because you like, oh well, these are our crowns. Like
what?
Locks was never that fucking dirty. They're not. And then I'll tell people like it was alt-right and Black Lives Matters. Like none of you guys are most likely are descended from the actual kings and queens and the explorers of the people that you claim to be.
Yeah, mm-hmm. They're all plebs.
There's no way.
These you're talking about the 1% of that society, the top 1% of the 1%. That's where you like, oh my god, look at these guys. Like Christopher Columbus was one guy. Mm-hmm. I'm guaranteed that most of America is not related to Christopher Columbus.
No. It would be like saying everybody in Europe is fucking royalty. It's just ridiculous.
No, it's fucking not. It's like it's absolutely ridiculous. Like we have all these great architects. We have Da Vinci. Like Da Vinci was one guy. Do you know how many people in back in the time it was in that place? Hundreds of thousands of people. He was one guy. You can't take credit for what one guy do. It's like saying Yosef Ozia. No, damn it, I just docked myself. Whatever. Yosef, he was the great descendant of the Egyptians, pharaoh, and he made the pyramids. Like that's not true. I can't claim that. I don't know how they made that. Even though it was related to those people, it wouldn't even matter.
Wait, but like the in the era where the pyramids were created, it was ruled over by mostly people of Arab descent. What the fuck? No, they were super light skinned. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
It's both ends very stupid. That's like they could be light skinned, but it wasn't that light skinned. It wasn't like the average day European who needs sunscreen. They're not. I've been in Egypt.
Oh no, yeah.
I've been to Israel. I went to Israel for 3 months. I was like 4 shades darker than I am right now. I'm a fairly dark skinned dude, and I got Michael Blackson dark in Israel, and I wasn't in the sun all the time. I mostly stayed in the AC. So if a black guy can get even blacker, barely be in the sun, like what hope do you have to think that a white guy would stay tan? I know white people in Israel that are extremely dark. Like they are white, but because it's hot as fuck in the desert,
tanned.
You get very tan. But
I would suspect that their argument would be the DNA while white or whatever.
They did not
matter.
It be all right.
It don't matter. He wasn't pharaohs.
Yeah, we wasn't
pharaohs.
I mean, the closest thing I guess people might be able to claim is like Genghis Khan, because like literally, what was it? The stats is like I think 10% of the people in the Mongolian Empire have his genes.
But he fucked a lot of people.
Yes, he did.
He did a lot of rape.
He fucked his way across China. That was an effort that was made.
I don't think there's nobody in history have spread this seed so far.
No, I believe that.
But it's even with
it's still only 10% though. Even then, it's still like
that's a lot of people. That's in the millions at this point. But I would say like you can't say that you're like pharaohs are like white people because they're not. They're mixed. They're not black and they're definitely not white. Most likely they are a mix of two culture, and it's one of the greatest civilizations on the planet of the Earth. So you can't either blacks or white can claim that shit.
DNA,
they were at one point ruled over. I think was it Nubia? That somebody took them over for a little while until that civilization collapsed.
Yeah,
which just goes to prove like Egypt has been ruled over by several different groups, not just one.
It was the kingdom of Kush.
Kush.
It was literally.
Yeah, they came in and it has so much. Yeah, they came in and it has so much gold that it totally decimated the value of the Egyptian trade.
Mm-hmm. Also, they cut down all the trees in their homeland, and it got taken over by the desert as well.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not a smart thing to do when you live in a desert. You really need something holding back the soil.
Don't do that. You're telling the bad part of history.
Right? Oh no, we can't tell the bad part of history. We can't tell the mistakes. If we don't tell the mistakes, then how do we learn from the fucking mistakes?
So
I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing. Like nowadays, with the politics being so divided, like all sense of nuance has like escaped into like the ether. It's just gone.
No, yeah, it's black and white thinking. This is good. This is bad. And there's nothing in between. It's either my way, your way. My way is right. Your way is wrong. It's not sports. Stop. Sorry. Yeah. Now I'm just like getting frustrated at this point.
All right.
I think
I think
go ahead.
what did you need to go or?
Oh, I guess I was thinking we could maybe wind it down a little.
Yes.
Next time we'll start a little later so that people are actually off of work.
What
Yeah,
else? I can bring you guys on my
on
channel.
the 25th, I'll be able to like
Well,
fully.
I for real need to go get something to eat because I'm starving.
Same here.
Yeah.
If you guys want to do a live stream later, I can bring you on my channel. I do have I have 2,000 subscribers on my channel.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That would be good. I really gotta finish my video, but I can't. I can definitely see if I can fit it in. Maybe I can do it while I'm looking for images.
Gotcha.
I got another hour to be here, but I mean, or like, not exactly, but like I'll be in the area for another hour because I'll get like actual actual good internet. So.
Well, I'll talk to
Okay.
you guys next time. So I'm dropping out.
It was nice talking to you guys. Thank you.
Did you talk?
Bye.